Hello and welcome to this F1 2011 career mode on expert commentary. Here we see the Q1 results for Australia. We can see Marcus Lindblom down in 19th place, but his 10th place grid penalty was just stupid. Here we go into the, as you can see here are the practice results. I didn't run in P2 and P3. In qualifying I didn't make it through to the second round, and for some reason truly says he got through, but he didn't. So here we go for the race. It's gonna be a totally dry race. Here you see my R&D path. I totally forgot to bring you the setup. That's totally my fault. Here you see my strategy, just a simple option prime strategy. And we go for the race here in our first episode of our Let's Play career mode on expert on F1 2011 with the Caterham F1 team. So for this series I would like to bring you for a whole season in the Caterham F1 car and hopefully get some points, maybe even a win later in the season when the car is fully developed. But right now I really can't, because firstly I don't have cars, so that's a big disadvantage. And for a second the car isn't stable enough to make anything good out of it. So you see, Fernando Alonso on pole, my teammate in 23rd and me in 24th. So here we go for the start race. Just revving it up a bit, and I tried to have the revs really low so I don't get much wheel spin off the line, but they get off to a pretty bad start. But I know they are really conservative, so I can brake. I think my team is truly really good, but then he never get blocked by Glock, and he went Ambrosio and he swerves, that's weaving. I want a penalty for him, and I move on the inside and outbrakes the cucumber and all the other back markers, but I don't manage to get on the inside of the cucumber here, so I have to leave him room. Try to race as clean as possible against the AI, and here on the back of him trying to get through here, but that's just too tight there. I can't get a good exit there, and the car is not, but there is really slow through that corner. I think Prix blocked him a bit, so I can just go up the inside and try to get Prix on the inside here, but that's not possible. Prix gets but he has some super traction out of that corner. I think he has a bit too much traction actually. So now that I've introduced this series to you guys in a bit of a half lap start, talking about the start of it, I want to start talking about real F1. So the DRS, it's in essence it's a good tool to aid overtaking, but at the same time in Canada it was just ridiculous how overpowered it was, because Hamilton was on much fresher tires than Alonso, fair enough, and he would have got him eventually. But the problem with the DRS is that when Hamilton came up on Alonso, he didn't even have to fight with Alonso. Alonso couldn't put up a fight because Hamilton had the DRS. Hamilton would have gotten past Alonso in the end. Know how much of a fanboy you are, and here I really slowed a bit of a congestion there into the third corner, but it's really processional this race. And yeah, it's too easy to overtake the DRS. They need to shorten the DRS zones, because now the cars, like Hamilton, all the cars that they were passed before the braking zone. And overtaking F1 is about having massive balls and not having to like push a button and drive past them and then just like move back to the real racing line. No, they're not allowed to do that. And they were, that was close. Got a bit too much on the curb there and just nearly spun out, but managed to save it. So I think DRS, it's way too powerful, because you're past the guy before the braking zone, and overtaking is, as I said, having massive balls and overtake, like outbraking the other guys going into the corner. But now they didn't need to. They could brake at exactly the same time, and they didn't have to worry more once they pushed the DRS. In almost all cases, in some cases they have to worry because you're just Sebastian Vettel. He was like the slowest guy more in the speed traps, but still he was he had the best qualifying, but that just shows how good, how much downforce the Red Bull car managed to generate. There you can see the tires starting to go. The Kirm F1 car, I think in F1 2011, the problem with it is it hasn't got curves, and that's a big problem because when you don't have curves, Seam overdid the curves effect so much that you lose like 4 seconds from curves, and that's not how it is in real life. And then the Kirm F1, it's very understeery on the way in to the corner, and then it's hard to get good traction out of the corner. And there you see the wheel spinning. So yeah, I think overtaking F1 needs to be balanced more, because it's not really a challenge to overtake anyone. So as you can see, and also the AI in Codemasters games, they're just way too slow. I mean, I can hang on to them with the camera phone. That's okay, but when you see like in almost every race, even if you can watch anyone's race commentaries or anything on F1 Television, you see the backmarker cars, they're always bunched up, 5 or 6 cars in a line going through the whole race, like within 3 seconds of each other. You see the rest are going defensive. I try to move on Paris, but I don't get the inside, so try to get some mud. But there is here again the wheel spinning. I just can't get enough on the back of him. Just have too bad traction coming out of the corners. So it's really big problem to get past him. So he takes a defensive line and then he moves on. I don't know if that's allowed actually. He chose the inside line and then went back to the racing line again. I don't know about that really. So we come up to the fast chicane, and I hit the ball and spin and destroy my race. So I was running 18, that's pretty good. And then I try to drive back, and the cucumber comes, block, and D'Ambrosio Liuzzi truly goes past me. So now I'm down in last place and without a front wing, and 1 lap too early for my pit stop as well. So race pretty much destroyed there. I had a pretty good chance of taking Prix maybe in the pit stops, but sadly I destroyed my race there. So now I don't have any control of my car almost. So and the car's understeer from the beginning, and now it's like more understeering. And for some reason, I don't know if this is realistic, but when you have lost your front wing, you always lock up your tires. I don't really know why. Even if you just put a little bit of pressure on the brakes, but yeah, that's probably something wonky, the physics in the F1 2011. So you see, going into the pit stop, trying to. So basically, from now it's all about saving the race as much as possible. And 6.6 seconds for a pit stop with a front wing change as well. That's pretty good. So now I'm 28 seconds off, and height for the 22nd place. I don't know why, but I'm 28 seconds behind truly, and on cool tires. So we'll have to drive really carefully around this first lap on these cool tires, and put it down to lean to get. And as you can see, I drive very, very carefully. I brake as late as possible, and yeah. But you can really feel the difference in F1 2011 between the cold tires and the warm tires, because it's when you have cold tires you don't get any grip, and it's really hard to get grip in the tires. They're turning up to standard, trying to just get around the first lap. Now I want to more, talk a bit about gameplay. So F1 2012, we saw the E3, and we saw some videos, and I saw an interview with Stephen Hood from the Inside Sim Racing, and he said that the like sim racers, the serious guys, like this game very much, and I can't really agree, because I'm one of those guys that I'm just follow F1 so closely. I watch every free practice I can get my hands on. I have summer break now, so it's really nice. I can watch all the free practices, all of qualifying, and watch all the races. And gotta say, I like the game, but it's not it's not like it's fantastic. I would like the physics to be more of a more hard physics, and I think there's some inbuilt aid, little traction control aid built in, because in some cases you can almost floor the throttle directly out of slow corners. It doesn't spin the wheels. I think there's some hidden aid built into the game, but I don't know. Can be so. But F1 2012 is coming out in September. I'm really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to driving the Austin track for the first time. It looks really nice. And yeah, but as I said, I want the physics to be more. I am kind of hardcore guy actually. Second in the race department F1 2011 PC Championship. By the way, I'm racing on the PC. I'm using Afterburner Beta to record my gameplays, and I use Windows Live Movie Maker to edit, and I use for my commentaries I just use the voice recorder, sound recorder that's inbuilt to Windows. So in F1 2012, I would like the physics to be more like it's too easy to drive the car in F1 2011, I think. And we shouldn't talk about F1 2010 because that was way too easy. The car was on rails basically. It was like a train go around the track, and it was like, and then you had a stupid brake slam trick, which I'm sure you don't have in real cars. If you just spun, you just had to slam on the brakes really quickly, and the car would turn itself in the right direction. That cannot be realistic. I don't know. I haven't driven an F1 car. I'm only 13, so I haven't driven an F1 car, and that's not very strange, considering my age. But I highly doubt it can correct a spin using the slamming on the brakes, and yeah, it's just not possible. And I think it was the first try, and F1 2010 was a really enjoyable game. I played it way too much, and F1 2011 that was just even better. But now I'm feeling disappointed by the Codemasters team, because they said that F1 2012 will be a mix in the physics of F1 2011 and F1 2010, and I can't think of something that was better in F1 2010 than in F1 2011. So yeah, I don't know what they're wanting to do, what they want to do with that. But we'll see. In September we'll get the answer to that question. So you see, I'm trying to get this gameplay from now on is just me trying to make stonking laps and catching up to Yara Truly and all the other back markers. So talking a bit about the Cannon race a bit more. I think the strategy guys on Ferrari and Vettel actually sucked, and that's pretty obvious because they tried a one-stopper with the legal DRS in Canada, and that's, yeah, it was just unsmart. But I think Fernando Alonso, he did a great job. He was, after Hamilton overtook Vettel in the first stint, Alonso was behind Vettel and managed to just hang on to them, and Vettel pitted on lap 17, and he took prime tires, the softs, and Hamilton been on lap 18 and took soft as well, and Hamilton got out ahead of Vettel, even with the right back tire problem. He seems to always have those problems on the right back tire, and yeah. And Alonso got out, he put on lap 20, he had really good pace on worn tires, but I think the Ferraris are really good on conserving tires, and because he was really quick on lap 19, lap 20, but he put on lap 20 and he came out ahead of Hamilton on softs, the prime tire, and then see me go loose, but he closed the door and I just outbrake him. It's a way too simple pass. And yeah, I think Hamilton got out, but Alonso got out ahead of Hamilton, and then Hamilton overtook Alonso because his tires was slightly warmer than Alonso's tires, and Hamilton built out a gap for around 4 seconds, and Alonso managed to hold Vettel behind him. And Alonso pulled out a small gap around 3 seconds back to Vettel, and Hamilton pulled out a 4-second gap back to Alonso. And on lap 40 we heard a radio message from Hamilton, said something like, "Are we sure Alonso and Vettel aren't going to pit again?" And I was thinking, like, of course Alonso and Vettel are going to pit again, because they should have gone longer on their tires to make a one stop. But then McLaren responded, "Yeah, we're sure they're going to pit again." And then Hamilton went in on lap 50, I think he put on a new soft because he didn't have any super soft left to use, and then we saw he was like 4 seconds faster, but Alonso didn't pit and Vettel didn't pit either, and I think it's really stupid by the guys on the pit wall at Ferrari. They should have pitted Alonso, and even I saw on James Allen on F1.com. That's a really good website. It does like a strategy debrief. And I saw even if when Alonso was 14 seconds ahead of Hamilton, they could have Alonso could have pitted and won the race, because the Ferrari boys, they were really good on the pit stops. And if Alonso would have pitted, he could have won, and because he was on fresher tires as well. So yeah, I think if Alonso would have pitted, he would have won, but they didn't, and so they kept on. They knew Hamilton was going to catch them, so yeah, but we still get second place. And then Hamilton catched them and passed them using the stupid long DRS zone. So I'm going up on D'Ambrosio here, and then stupid enough doesn't cover up the inside, so that's where I'm going. And I drive into him. No, he drives into me. And yeah, Alonso, Ferrari boys probably think like, oh yeah, but P2 isn't too bad. But then Grosjean came and overtook Alonso, and then but then they think like, yeah, P3 isn't too bad. And then Perez came and overtook them on a one-stop strategy. Both Grosjean and Perez did a one-stop strategy, which is really impressive of them. And then, as I said, Perez came and overtook him. Yeah, but like P4 isn't too bad. But then Vettel came, and Vettel, who had pitted on lap 64, managed to caught up with Alonso and passed him. And then just like P5, yeah, but not too bad actually. We are behind Vettel, but they were thinking like, oh shit, this didn't work. But then eventually, on lap 70, the last lap, Alonso managed to hold on to his P5 with just 2/10 ahead of Nico Rosberg. So it was a really strategic cock up there on the Ferrari pit wall. So that's my view on that. So we're drawing to the closer of the race, and I'm up into P21, trying to catch Timo Glock. So you can see he's 2 seconds ahead of me, but here it's not 2 seconds because I'm super fast, and for some reason I'm so much faster than the other back markers. So yeah, could have been a pretty good race. Don't think I could have gone any higher than P18, which was the place I was in when I had a cock up in the far chicane and spun. So you can see I managed to caught up 7/10 in that short sector. So that's but it wasn't super much. But yeah. So talking a bit about Perez, I mean, they have to get him in the Ferrari for next year. I mean, Massa, he isn't the same driver anymore. He isn't fast enough for Ferrari. Ferrari, they didn't have the best car in the beginning stage of the season. But Alonso got P5 in Australia, Massa got P16. And Alonso born in Malaysia, and Massa was in P16, I think, again. Massa got his first points in Bahrain, actually, where he's P9, I think. And ahead of him he had Button, who retired, and who was it more? Yeah, Michael Schumacher, I think, had to retire, I think. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, I think Massa, he should I think he should retire from. At least he should. He's not going to be in the Ferrari next year. He doesn't have a. He doesn't have a contract for next year, and he, he isn't fast enough. They need to get Paris into the Ferrari. So that's my thought on Ferrari. But yeah, we're coming on the home straight here. I'm behind the cucumber. That's in P19. I'm in P20 just because of that stupid mistake in the fast chicane, and I'm finishing P20. Marcus Limmerman, as you can see, that's my name. Fast lap 1:27.106. Shane gained 4 places in the race, and here we can see the results. I'm in P20, and we have Button from Alonso, from Massa, from Vettel, from Hamilton, from Webber, from Schumacher, Rosberg, Kobayashi, Petrov, Heidfeld, Argusari, Buemi, Soto, Maldonado, Resta, Perez, Barrichello, Kartikeyan, Lindblom, Glock, D'Ambrosio, Liuzzi, and Trulli. And I don't have to tell you the championship because that's exactly the same. In the construction champion, McLaren, Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes, Sauber, Lotus, and I didn't catch any more. And here you can see my engineer is for some reason really upset with me, and here you can see the really nice Heike Angry Birds helmet, and here a guy will come and push me off with the camera. So thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment away.